Hello, hello, hello. Let me introduce myself. I'm Madam Wiparyang Anand from SMK Chetok, Pasir Mas, Kelantan. Do you know where the school is? Go and Google it up. Now, how's your online learning going? I hope you've been learning loads from the videos posted. Grab the opportunity, serve it up. Today, we're going to cover Lesson 4, which is the first listening lesson for this year. We're still in the same unit, Unit 1, where the theme is People and Culture, and the topic is Family Ties. What are we going to focus on today? Not a lot, so don't worry. Today, we're going to focus on the first 3 tasks, Task A, B, and C. They can all be found on page 10 of your close-up textbook. Now go get your textbook if you have it. You haven't received your copy? Don't worry. I'll show you the necessary parts. You can pause, play, rewind, and fast forward as much as you want. Before we go further, let's see what you're learning today. Today, you're learning to understand independently the main ideas in simple, longer text on the topic of family ties by listening to 3 short passages and answering 3 objective questions related to the 3 short passages. You can consider yourself successful if you could listen to the passage and score at least 2 out of 3 questions correctly. Now look at the first set of pictures. What can you see in each picture? Go to picture 1A. Look carefully. What is it? Excellent. It's a violin. What about 1B? Very good. It's a television. And 1C. What do you think it is? Way to go. It's a bicycle. Now, does any of you play the violin? Do you go to classes for it? Okay. What about the television? How many of you love watching television? I do. Okay. Now, what do you call people who love watching television? They spend a lot of time in front of the telly. What do you call them? We call them couch potatoes. Now, you've learned one word today, couch potatoes. Right. And the last one, who's an avid cyclist? Are you an avid cyclist? Do you cycle as a form of exercise? Right. Let's go back. I digress. Now, what can you relate these items to? You've got the violin, a television, and a bicycle. What ties them together? Take 3 seconds to think. Let me count. 1001, 1002, 1003. Still vague? I'll give you a hint. Free time. Yes, they can all be grouped under hobbies or pastimes. What about the next 3 in the second set? What can you see? Look at 2A. Can you see the rows of shelves with displayed items? Where can you see this? Yes, you're right. It's a shop or a supermarket. Now, what about 2B? Cars, right? Loads of cars. Where do you think these cars are? Let's just say they're not moving. What's that? A car park. Well done. Now picture 2C, the last picture in the row. What's the person doing in the picture? Reading, right? Do you love reading? Okay, this is definitely a no-brainer for good students like you. It's a library. So how can you tie them all together? Yep, another good job. They're all places. Now let us examine the third and last set of pictures. We'll start with 3A. What's in the picture? Old woman. Good. Now who do you think she is? A witch? Naughty, naughty. Now think of family members, a grandmother, a grand aunt. Maybe. What about 3B? Who do you think it is? A mother. Possible. An aunt? Perhaps. A sister? Maybe. What about 3C? Yeah, it could be a father or an uncle. Thank you, everyone. You've given me many interesting possibilities. Now, we are going to analyze the pictures in the sets. Let's look at the first set. The violin, a television, and a bicycle. Let's say they're all hobbies. Which question word can you use? How, where, or who to ask questions about the pictures in the set? What about set 2? We've established that 2A is a supermarket. 2B, what was that again? Yes, a car park. And 2C, a library. So which question word do you think is suitable to ask questions about the pictures in the set? Now let's move on to the last set, set 3. We know that all 3 are pictures of people of different ages. They could be a grandmother, a mother, and a father. Which question word would you use to ask questions for set 3? I'm sure this is way too easy for you. Let's check the answers together. Yes, how is used with set 1, as we can ask questions like, how do you spend your free time? To get answers such as, by playing the violin, by watching the television, or by cycling. Where is used with set 2 for answers such as at the supermarket, at the car park, or at the library. The last question word, who, is probably the easiest, as it is used with people. Now look at the picture sets again and decide which question goes with which set. Where did the woman meet her cousin? That's question number 1. So to answer this question, what is the expected answer? You have 3 options: people, place, or ways. Question number 2. Who does the man's niece take after? We've learned the word take after in the previous lesson, right? What does it mean again? To look like. Yes, very good. So, what type of answers are you expecting for this question? Is it people? Is it place? Or is it ways? The last question. How does the man's daughter spend her free time? What type of a response are you looking for when you post this question? Do you want the answers to be people, place, or ways? Easy peasy, right? Another piece of cake. Let's check the answers together. Question number 1. Where did the woman meet her cousin? The answer is set 2. You can answer either the supermarket, the car park, or the library. The next question. Who does the man's niece take after? Clearly, the answer is in set 3, where the 3 people are. And lastly, for question 3, how does the man's daughter spend her free time? There's only one answer left, so it's definitely set 1. She can play the violin, she can watch the telly, or she can cycle. Now listen to the 3 conversations and circle the correct answer for each question. You are going to listen to the audio twice, right? Just like in your exam, you're going to listen to the audio twice. Remember, if it is how, your answer will be in set 1. If the question starts with where, you can find the answer in set 2. And if the question asks who, the answer can definitely be found in set 3. Now, we are going to play the audio for you twice. But if you find the audio to be a bit too fast for you, you can pause and listen to the conversations over and over. But it's good practice to just listen to it twice, because this is what happens in your exam. Good luck!
Listening, Unit 1, page 10, C. 1. Where did the woman meet her cousin? Did you remember to go to the library yesterday?
I did, but I was late because I saw my cousin before I got there.
Yes, she told me. She said she met you in the car park on her way to the supermarket.
That's right. Of course, she had to show me her new car.
2. Who does the man's niece take after?
So you finally met your niece yesterday. Who did she take after?
Well, she doesn't look like her dad at all. I suppose she does look a bit like her mother, but overall, I think she looks most like her grandmother. 3. How does the man's daughter spend her free time? I think my daughter should spend a bit more time outside. She could be riding her bicycle or something.
Well, at least she's doing something creative. Practicing the violin is much better than just sitting watching TV.
You're right, but sometimes I want a little peace and quiet. Listening, Unit 1, page 10, C. 1. Where did the woman meet her cousin? Did you remember to go to the library yesterday?
I did, but I was late because I saw my cousin before I got there.
Yes, she told me. She said she met you in the car park on her way to the supermarket.
That's right. Of course, she had to show me her new car.
2. Who does the man's niece take after?
So you finally met your niece yesterday. Who did she take after?
Well, she doesn't look like her dad at all. I suppose she does look a bit like her mother, but overall, I think she looks most like her grandmother. 3. How does the man's daughter spend her free time? I think my daughter should spend a bit more time outside. She could be riding her bicycle or something.
Well, at least she's doing something creative. Practicing the violin is much better than just sitting watching TV.
You're right, but sometimes I want a little peace and quiet.
How was the task? Pretty confusing for some of you, right? Don't worry. Keep listening and you'll definitely master it one day. After all, practice makes perfect. Before we move on, I can give you a tip on how to make the audio slower. Right. If you click on the setting of your YouTube video, you'll be able to slow the playback speed. Okay, so you can reduce the playback speed to 1.25 or 1.5. If you reduce it to more than that, then you will feel as if you are in another world. Okay, now here are the answers to the questions. Question 1. Where did the woman meet her niece? Remember, the question is where. So the answer is in set. Perfect. Set 2. The answer to the obvious question is the car park. Next question. Question 2. Who does the man's niece take after? Which picture set is this relevant to again? Awesome! Set 3. And the answer is, yes, A, the grandmother. Now finally, question 3. How does the man's daughter spend her free time? Righto! The answer is in set 1, playing the violin. So, how did you do? Did you manage to score a minimum of 2 out of 3 marks? Good for you. Do take note that there are 2 things you need to do in a listening task of this kind. Firstly, you need to brainstorm the pictures given. Try to identify what they are, what they represent. Secondly, predict what possible questions can be asked about them. Make it a habit to prepare yourself for the listening task by doing these 2 steps over and over. Now we've come to the end of the journey. Let's reflect on your learning session today. What have you learned today? What do you think you've done well? Now remember, you don't have to be perfect to do well. You just need to analyze your own learning. Compete with yourself. Do not compete with other people too much. Otherwise, you'll get stressed out. For example, you can say, I've done well in labeling the 9 pictures. I was able to correctly name 6 out of 9 pictures. Now that's good enough for some people. What you have to do now is record your reflections and send a voice message to your teacher. Don't be shy. Give yourself a pat on the back. You've done well. That's all for today. I'll see you when I see you. Bye and keep safe.